At a random abandoned building where a kidnapped girl named Scarlett is being held, a white limo pulls up and the person inside greets the thug guarding the building, but the thug tells him to get lost. Suddenly, the man inside holds a sword to the thug's throat, telling him he stole this sword from a man in Egypt who tried to take someone away from him, and he's told that the Egyptian dude still shits out shards of his own ribcage when he goes to the bathroom. It's revealed that the man inside is none other than Mr. Knight, who is here to save the kidnapped girl. He asks the thug how many kidnappers are inside the building, to which the man says there's a dozen and maybe more. Mr. Knight asks him where the girl is, and the thug reveals she's being held at the 5th floor. Mr. Knight presses the sword firmly into the thug's throat, realizing that the kidnappers are probably spread out all over the building, meaning he might as well go through the front door. He steps inside and sees how old and abandoned the building really is. Broken railings, peeling walls, and a rotten smell. One of the thugs approaches him and says that they're closed, but Mr. Knight strikes him in the face, knees him, and strikes him once again. Another guy runs down the stairs asking Mr. Knight who he is, to which Mr. Knight throws a crescent blade at his hand, disarming him before knocking him out, saying he is the one you see coming. He charges up the stairs, snapping the third thug's ankles before throwing him overhead and slamming him onto a nearby railing, folding him like a lawn chair. On the 2nd floor, one of the kidnappers shoots his baton. He decides to snap it in half and throws the other half at the kidnapper's face, muttering to himself that the batons are expensive and he doesn't even have a job. He heads up the stairs again and casually throws a blade through a kidnapper's chin. But his confusion didn't last long, as Mr. Knight sent him flying down the stairs the same way I did to my grandma. He reaches the 3rd floor and comes across this giant hunk of a man who says he was trying to get some beauty sleep. He tanks Mr. Knight's punch and holds him up in the air, but Mr. Knight stabs him in the chest and he yells out in pain. Mr. Knight then covers the giant's head with his jacket and hurls him 4 stories down. On the 4th floor, Mr. Knight is approached by 3 thugs. The first one starts vomiting uncontrollably after 1 kick. The second one gets his arm snapped, and the third one goes down after 1 kick to the ribs. Before he could head up to the 5th floor, one of the kidnappers runs down, but Mr. Knight just throws a blade which impales his foot, sticking it to the stairs as he face plants into the ground. He finally goes up the 5th floor where the kidnapped girl is being held and comes across a man dressed just like him. He throws a blade, but the kidnapper blocks it, impressing Mr. Knight. However, the fight is ended quickly as Mr. Knight snaps the man's hand and stabs him with his own knife before throwing him through the door into another room where a kidnapper with a bat charges at him. Mr. Knight says he needs one of those and quickly disarms the kidnapper before taking the bat for himself. He sings playfully, telling the kidnappers to come out where they are and to not go downstairs because it's not safe. A kidnapper busts through the door, mockingly asking if it's not safe, only to get his face smashed in with the bat. One of the kidnappers witnesses the brutal kill and tries to run away as Mr. Knight wipes the kidnapper's blood on the wall. He ultimately decides to let the kidnapper go and vows to deal with him after he saves the girl. He finds the girl and the kidnapper holds her at gunpoint, telling Mr. Knight that his gun has a better reach than his bat. Mr. Knight says he loves this bat and he owes him a new baton and he can't die. He says he could kill the girl, but it will only mean death for him afterwards as everyone already thinks the girl is dead. He asks the kidnapper if he's sure he's ready to die today. He tells him the girl is the only thing keeping him alive and the kidnapper hands him the gun, but Mr. Knight shows no mercy and sends the man flying with a devastating blow to the face. Mr. Knight approaches the girl and she looks at him like he's crazy. He explains to her who he is and says the police will come and pick her up soon. The girl touches his face and Mr. Knight says it's his mask and asks if the kidnappers hurt her, but she says they only carried her places. The girl tells Mr. Knight it's not a mask, it's his face, making him smile and tell her she's a smart kid. Mr. Knight heads up to the rooftop and calls for a drone strike at the kidnapper who managed to run away earlier. The drone smashes into the kidnapper, leaving his body destroyed. Mr. Knight approaches, telling him that wherever he's going, he should tell everyone that whenever they see Mr. Knight coming, there's only one thing to do: run.